What's up, guys? Well, we just got our second episode of Dexter's New Blood titled Storm of Fuck. I love that title. And another good episode. I don't think I had quite the highs that I had just seeing the premiere because of all the excitement, but it was still a good episode. A lot of setup, a lot of hints of where things are going to go for the next 8 episodes, and overall, really happy with what this show is doing thus far. So most of this episode is focused on Dexter and Harrison kind of learning about what each other have been up to for the long period of time that they did not know each other, getting a little bit of an idea of maybe what Harrison's life has been like without Dexter, although there's some details about it that I'm going to call into question here in a little bit. Dexter giving hints about why he left Harrison without outright telling him, oh, because I'm a serial killer and I didn't want to screw you up. And their whole character dynamic, their relationship building, that was kind of the goal of this entire episode.
What can I possibly say to the son I abandoned? You got big.
The undercurrent of all of it is this investigation going on for the person that Dexter killed in episode 1, and you have all of the law coming together, all the citizens doing searches throughout this reservation and throughout all of the land that Dexter's little cabin is on, and then the slow, meticulous build-up reveal of Clancy Brown, who is eventually going to be our big bad this season, though thus far it's just hints of what he's doing. It's just like basically the corner of his eye is all we saw for most of this episode until he finally showed up at the end. Now, things that I liked about this episode, I did enjoy the character building and the character dynamics of Dexter and Harrison and their relationship because, you know, we don't know anything about Harrison. We don't know who this kid is. We don't know what his motivations are. We don't know what his personality is. And you get a little bit more of an idea of that here. You get an idea that he's probably gone through some struggles, some tragedies. He gives an explanation for what has happened to Hannah, saying that she died of cancer a few years ago, and he's kind of been bounced around in the system ever since. I don't know if I believe that. I got a sneaking suspicion that maybe he killed Hannah, or there's some kind of a darkness in Harrison that's eventually going to come out in these 10 episodes, but then again, could just be that she died of cancer. Who knows? It just seemed like a very easy kind of write-off to get rid of that character where there's probably going to be something a little bit deeper there. And I like the fact that Dexter assumed that he was going to be as socially awkward and shy and kind of standoffish as he always was, and he immediately just goes up to the hot girl and just starts talking to her and flirting with her. So that was a really cool thing to see, to where he's kind of mentally preparing. I'm like, oh, it's okay, you can go hide in my cabin. And he's like, peace, Dad, I'm gonna go hang out with the girls. That was really cool. That was a fun dynamic there. And I like the fact that he doesn't seem like he's really trying to screw up Dexter's life or Jim's life. He really does want answers. He really does want to figure out what's going on. And there was a moment there where I thought he was going to start, like, not necessarily blackmailing his father, but doing something to really fuck with him. Like, all right, dude, we're going to have some fun here. That's your girlfriend? All right, watch this. And I'm glad that it didn't go that way, because that could have very easily made that character unlikable. And I also like the response of Dexter's girlfriend, to where at first it seemed like she's going to be kind of that bitchy, resenting woman where it's like, oh, you got a secret? Well, fuck you. And I like the fact that they kind of teased that she was going to be that way, and then eventually revealed that she's very welcoming of this situation, and she's very understanding of him not really mentioning it before, and there's even some secret that comes out with her regarding her daughter not being biologically hers. I like that. I like the fact that we actually get somebody that is not automatically just going to be one of those love interests that just becomes an issue for whatever Dexter's trying to do. She's actually a really good person to have in his life. Now, something that I didn't talk too much about in episode 1, but we definitely have a lot more to talk about with it here, is Deb as his conscience, as the replacement for Harry. And I am curious if we're ever going to see Harry this season. But I really like her. I like her as that role. I was curious if it was going to work. I was curious if it was going to feel natural, if it was going to feel forced. Like, why would Harry just instantly disappear and Deb replace that person? And it made sense for me in the first episode with him trying to contain everything and successfully containing it for so long, and she was the voice keeping him there. And this episode is all angry Deb. It's all resenting Deb. It's all antagonistic Deb. And I liked that. I like they kept that side of her personality, and she's just laughing at him like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you just love blood everywhere. You're such an asshole. And their kind of brother and sister antagonism, I really enjoyed. So I'm curious of how that side of his psyche is going to kind of evolve throughout this season, if she's going to be more welcoming to him, if she's going to get scared for him, if we're going to see a lot of different range from Jennifer Carpenter. But I like what they did this far, where she's just kind of like poking the wound the whole episode. I also thought that the way that they are introducing Clancy Brown as this villain is very slow and it's very methodical, but to me it's very effectively creepy, to where you have the girl who was like the drifter in the first episode, that she just wanted to have something to eat, and she comes back in this one, gets this little hotel room, which I'm still curious of how she got that, why she has the strawberries. Like, did somebody invite her to this mansion? Maybe they'll give us answers on that. But nonetheless, she's got this little room that she's staying in. She feels comfortable. And then all throughout the episode, you see that Clancy Brown is watching her on this security cam and zooming in on her, and just all you see is his eye. And eventually she finds out that the door is gone. She's locked in there. She sees the camera. It says, "You're already dead." They don't show him do anything. I don't know if he already killed her or if we're going to see that happen in another episode, but very subtle way to show how sick this guy is and give an idea of what direction they're going to take him for this season's big bad. And of course, I just love Clancy Brown. I mean, you could just throw him in here and just say, "That's your villain," and I would already be sold. I would already be like, hell yeah, that's my villain. Let's see what happens. But they give a really cool way to slowly build him in as this looming threat that eventually Dexter's going to have to deal with at some point. I also enjoyed that they kind of brought back that element of Dexter messing up a crime scene to send all of the cops in a different direction other than him, where he cleaned up the blood and he went to the reservation and made sure that people saw the deer there so that they would think that's the reason why this kid disappeared, and he went and planted the glove over by the highway, and everybody just ate it all up and immediately went the direction that he wanted everyone to go, with the exception of Clancy Brown getting everybody to stay and linger a little bit longer. So that was another classic element of Dexter that made its return in this episode that was fun to watch. Now, as far as something that I did not like, and I absolutely called bullshit on, and it didn't make any sense to me throughout the entire episode, I know Dexter is out of work and he's out of practice, and it's been 10 years supposedly since he had killed somebody. I don't believe for a fucking second that he would leave that much blood behind. I mean, the couple of spots outside of his cabin, I just attributed to him getting ready to clean that up and then getting distracted with the Harrison thing. And then he was probably going to forget it long enough for somebody to find it. That's what I kind of assumed was going to happen with the way episode 1 ended, and I was okay with that. Episode 2 has you go on the journey of Dexter going back and covering up all this blood with his little RTV, which I'm not even sure would really be that effective, for one. But two, he's driving for miles and just running over these little blood spots that Harrison never mentions, by the way. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that Dexter would lose his smarts that much within the passion of the moment and drag that guy's body for miles back to his cabin and not think at all about the blood that's dripping the entire way. That was a struggle for me. It wasn't a gigantic thing. It wasn't like it ruined the episode, but that was something where when they started showing him driving for miles, covering up this blood, I was like, dude, you have never been anywhere close to this sloppy. Not buying it. And the other thing that I will mention, and this isn't really a negative or a positive, but it's something that I'm certainly starting to think about, not even worry about. I'm a little surprised how slow this season has started, being that this is only going to be 10 episodes and being that this is going to be the only season that we get. I mean, they've pretty much all but made that clear. So anybody that thinks that Dexter might live for a season 2 or whatever, they could always give us the middle finger and tease us with that. But I think they're pretty set in this just being a season run to clean up the ending and then be done and not screw themselves again with going way too far with more seasons. So for only having 10 episodes worth of story, I enjoyed the slow build and the taking their time in episode 1 because it was meant to be the slow build up to him eventually hearing his dark passenger again, and that worked for me. This is another episode that really did feel like it's still slowly building things. It's slowly setting up the plot, slowly introducing the villain, slowly hinting at things that might be coming throughout this season, little reveals or little surprises possibly. And again, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not frustrated with it. I'm not impatient with it, but I am a little bit concerned that if they keep doing this for 2 or 3 more episodes, that it might start to feel like they didn't have a ton of storyline for these 10 episodes, and it's just going to be another season of Dexter for the sake of the last episode, however they decide to leave it. So I hope I'm wrong. Again, not overly worried, but it is something that entered my head where I'm like, That's 2 episodes now. All right, let's get moving. Let's hit the gas. Let's get crazy. But all in all, guys, I was a fan of this episode. I'm still very much a fan of what they're doing with this little revival season, and very much looking forward to every single Saturday night of watching what's going to happen next. So let me know, guys, what do you think of episode 2 of Dexter New Blood, titled Storm of Fuck? Let me know down below what you guys liked, what you didn't like, what are some of your theories, what are some of your worries, and we'll talk about it down below in the comments section. Please like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you are a fan of Dexter. I'm going to do an episode review throughout this entire season, and then after that I'm going to rank all of the seasons, because I just got done reviewing all 8 of the previous seasons leading up to this, and I might even do like a Dexter villain ranking. I think that would be fun as well, and maybe some top 10 episodes. I'll do some Dexter content for sure. So if you guys are fans of Dexter, do not miss out on any of that. Thank you for watching as always, and remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.